for joining us. I want to go ahead and take a few minutes to go over some of our activities and get you ready to participate in our Scavenger Hunt Bingo. So first things first, I'll go ahead and do a brief introduction. My name is Sarah Maestas. I'm the Director of Health and Wellness here at Denver Indian Health and Family Services. And we have Samuel Black, who is our Native Wellness Coordinator. Sam, you can say hi real brief. Perfect. He's the one who does most of all of our communications. So yeah, tonight we have our Scavenger Hunt Bingo activity, and we recommend doing it when there is not snow on the ground, so you have some time to complete the activity. We're giving everybody until next Wednesday to actually get through the bingo card, which you should have received via email. So on the bingo card, there's a variety of different exercises on there, and we want to make sure that we go over them. That way everybody feels confident and ready to do these on your own. So before you actually get started in any sort of activity or you're beginning a new exercise program, anything like that, it's always important to consult with your PCP, make sure you have the clearance and the good to go. That being said, at the start of every workout, there should be, or activity or exercise, there should always be a warm-up that precedes it. Warming up is extremely important because it gets your bones, your muscles, your joints, your heart ready for activity. And a warm-up can consist of two different parts. One is going to be the cardiovascular warm-up, where you're doing some sort of cardiovascular activity. And then the second part is going to be a dynamic warm-up. Dynamic warm-up is just like stretching, but with movement. And we'll go over some of those moves as well. That way you feel ready to begin your Scavenger Hunt Bingo. So our cardiovascular warm-up, easiest one you can do is walking. So you can set a timer. You can walk for 3 to 5 minutes. And that pace is just supposed to be a pace that starts to get your heart rate up, get your heart and your lungs ready for activity. The pace I always like to tell people, it's almost as if you're running late to catch the bus. So not an actual run, but where you're doing that kind of quick walk and you're like, okay, I got to get there. That's what we're looking for our cardiovascular warm-up when you're walking. You can also do anything else, if you have access to elliptical, to a bike, stationary bike, anything like that, those all count as your cardiovascular warm-up. And then our dynamic warm-up moves, really those are just to get everything ready, especially your joints and your muscles ready for exercise. I always like to tell everybody, start from your head and work your way down your body. So the first one you can do, you can pretend like you're swimming. And you can do these for any length of time, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. If it feels good, you want to keep going up to a minute, that's totally fine also. So we have a forward swim, and then we go backwards. This just opens up the chest. If you have any bit of shoulder limitations, you can just go ahead and keep it small. You can do kind of more of a doggy paddle or back there, whatever feels comfortable to you. No exercises should ever hurt, so always keep that in mind. You should be able to move without any pain. If there is pain, definitely stop doing that activity. So those were our swimmers. Next up, you can do some arm circles. You can start small, medium, a little bit bigger. Those are forward, and then you can just do the same deal back, small, medium, a little bit bigger, just like that. Again, just warming up those shoulders, warming up that upper body, getting it ready to move. Next one, hula hoops. So here, I think mostly everybody has probably tried to hula hoop one time or another. So you're just doing that same motion. You're just warming up those hips, getting them ready for activity. Circle, opposite direction. Perfect, same deal, 20 to 30 seconds. And then you can also do your knees. So here, little knee circles. These aren't big, it shouldn't hurt. In reverse, hopefully you can see, hold the paper to the side, there we go. Then you can also go ahead and get those ankles. If your balance is off, feel free to hold onto a counter or the wall or a partner, anything like that. Make sure you're always staying safe. Circles. Perfect. So we kind of went through all those different big major joints in the body. And then you can also do marching where you're here. This is going to help get that heart rate up. You can do butt kicks. You can do shuffles, butt down, chest up. You can either do a little step or you can go a little bit quicker. Just like that. Remember, only do moves that you feel comfortable and confident in doing. Anything can be modified if necessary. And we'll go over all of the modifications for the exercises for the Scavenger Hunt Bingo. So those are really just examples of our cardiovascular warm-up, our dynamic warm-up, and you already know why those are important. Get your body ready to move. So on your card, there's something called a duck walk. Duck walk can be done in 2 different ways. You can do it from a standing position here, or you can do it on a bench. So you're going to take a short step, because if you take a big step, it's about balance, and that's not our goal. Toe up, reach down nice and slow, opposite hand, opposite foot, back stays flat. I'm here, and then I'm here. Everybody's duck walk is gonna look a little bit different. It all depends on what your hamstring flexibility looks like. So some people might put one leg out and reach down to here and already feel that stretch in the back of their leg. If so, that's totally fine. Don't try to reach any, past that point of comfort. There should be no pain. Seated version of the duck walk. Here, extend the leg out, toe up, reach down. There you go. And you're just gonna go back and forth from here. Always keeping that back flat. Next move, skaters. Skaters can be here. Modification. There you go. Perfect. Jumping jacks or step jacks. Classic jumping jack. Modification. Just like that. Hula hoops, we already went over. A reminder, pretending like you're hula hooping. Back and forth. Calf raises. You can either do calf raises on a curb if your balance is fine and everything like that. Calf raises on the curb, it just allows you to get a little bit more range of motion. Calf raises not on the curb, you can do them here. Really just lift them up, back down. You'll feel that in the bottom, back part of your leg, just like that. Squats at a bench. So you have 2 options here. Feet are about shoulder width apart, chest up nice and tall. You can either do a sit to stand, which is just here, you're sitting, and then you're standing. Or you can do the squat, where you're here, you tap, you come back up, just like that. Make sure your chest is always up nice and tall, back stays flat, making sure you're not rounding forward at all. Next move, butt kicks. Very similar to like we did in our warm-up. You have the options of either going here, okay? If you can kick your butt, great. If you don't have that flexibility, you can just lift back, okay? If you do have a little bit more flexibility and speed, you can go just like that. Arm circles, forward and back, you have 20. Forward here, backwards here, just like our warm-up. Shuffle, same deal as our warm-up, if you can with the speed. You want to slow down steps. Quick walk. There is a walk up a hill. That could be any sort of incline. It can be, if you have a little bit of a slope on your front yard, that's okay. If you want to use your driveway, that's okay. Anything like that, or it can be a bigger hill if you feel comfortable doing that as well. Marching. Nice soft landing when you're marching. Remember, you don't want to stomp and hear your feet hitting the ground hard. Be gentle on your joints. Swimmers. Again, you're here or reversed, just like that. For anything that doesn't have a number associated with it, you can go for 10 reps, you can go for 20 if you'd like. Just challenge yourself, whatever that looks like. So skaters, you can go, if you're going for 10, you can be here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Jumping jacks, step jacks, you could go for 10 unless you want to do 20. Anything like that, really, it's up to you. 10 is just always a nice number that you can start on. Same thing with the shuffles, same thing with the swimmers, and then everything else should have a number associated with it. So once you conclude or complete your exercise activity, your scavenger hunt bingo, you always want to make sure that you finish with a cool down. 2 different portions to our cool down, just like our warm up. Cardiovascular portion where you're walking around. I always like to tell folks this is your art gallery walk. So you're walking at that nice slow pace, lowering your heart rate, getting your body back to those pre-exercise levels, preventing the blood from pooling, things like that. Cool down is just as important as a warm up. So don't ever forget that when you're doing activity on your own. After you do your cardiovascular cool down, and again, that could be, be cycling. It just has to be slow. Anything that's going to start lowering that heart rate, getting you ready to go back to that kind of resting state. And then you're going to do a static stretch. Static stretching, you'll probably remember this from, gym or, doing any sort of sports. That's the static stretching is where you're holding it. Dynamic was with movement. Static is just holding, pausing, that sort of thing. So you can go here, like your tricep stretch. You can go across. Just don't pull on your actual elbow here. You can go seated, kind of for the back saver hamstring stretch. Here it's just like our duck walks, except for without movement. You're just gonna hold. And again, these can be for 20 seconds, 20, 30. If you want to hold it for a minute, that's totally fine, up to you. You always want to try to hit those major muscle groups. So you can, again, think about going from head to toe, working your way down for your static stretching. So I think that basically covers everything that you'll need to know for your scavenger hunt bingo. You can aim to either block out one whole row or you can go for an entire blackout of the whole card. It's up to you. Really, this is just meant for everybody to have fun, get a little bit of activity in. And all that we ask is when you complete this, take a picture, send it over to us. We always love to see what everybody's up to. And then also, if you can please complete the evaluation. Evaluations are very helpful for us. This project is a part of the grant from the CDC where we're trying to promote traditional movement and traditional nutrition. So we get to put together fun things like scavenger hunt bingo. We've done like powwow sweat dancing, indigenous games in the past. Samuel and I have attempted to make a few different indigenous recipes. I am happy to report we never burned anything down, so that was always a success. So hopefully, you'll get to complete our scavenger hunt bingo and then join us in the future for some of our future Spirit Within project workshops.